All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and knock this one out and rip this one off like a bad day. What is good? What is good? What is good? Of course, you know who I be. Good Doc, Dr. Mike TV, back again, once again. Instant classic in the making, guys. First time to the channel, make sure you get the likes up, make sure you subscribe, make sure you notify, do all the good things to make yourself well versed in the Good Doc's content. Everything you should need to know about yours truly shall be listed in the links in the description area below. Ebooks, podcasts, you name it, it is there. All right. Now, I've been laughing all morning. I have. It's almost to the point where my side has been hurting. Okay? It's really, really, really that serious. Okay? Because I've come across people, and this has been the topic of conversation for quite some time between those men who choose to travel and those that choose to remain in country, United States, whatever home country they're from, and the debate and the beef between the two. And it baffles me because the other day, probably about a week or so ago, maybe a couple days to a week or so ago, I saw a community post posted by my big brother O'Shea, and basically it was a meme or a picture that showed the women that men think that men travel to get with abroad, and then it showed the actual picture. If you go over to his community tab, hopefully it's still there. I can't find the picture right now, but it is what it is. And it baffles me that people actually believe that men who choose to travel or date abroad are actually traveling and going abroad to date ugly ass women. Okay, now again, before I get into it, beauty is definitely in the eye of the beholder, and what I might find to be attractive, you may not, and what you find to be attractive, I may not. Again, that is always subjective. Okay, let's make sure I note that. But for the most part, a lot of us who choose to travel are not necessarily traveling to get with unattractive women. Okay? But also what baffles me about this topic of conversation is the fact that men actually give a flying fuck about the fact that we're traveling to get women abroad. I mean, it baffles my mind how much men care about what other men do. I mean, for the life of me, I have never met a group of such sensitive ass people in my life than grown ass men caring about what other men do with their lives. Okay? Why does it matter if men choose to travel abroad to date women? As a matter of fact, if I was one of those men in country, dating women in my own home country, I would actually be happy, praising, and encouraging you to go abroad. You want to know why? Because that just leaves more women in the country for me to get with, to enjoy, to have fun with. It leads to less competition. Because all of y'all are traveling abroad to get with women, that just means there's more women for me here. So for me to hear other gentlemen crying, bitching, and moaning about what other men choose to do with their shit, it's laughable at best. Because first and foremost, I hear the YouTubers talking. You hear it. I mean, it's not uncommon to hear YouTubers talking shit about men who choose to travel abroad to date women, and they'll say, oh, well, that's because they can't get women in their own home country, man. They can't handle strong women. They have no game. You hear it all the time. But for those that actually respond to it and try to create a debate about it, I'm trying to figure out, why do you give a fuck? Answer me that. Like, why do you actually give a fuck about what they say? Like, tell me, what is the general rule of thumb? What is your thought process behind caring about what a man who has probably never traveled before cares about what you do? I don't care. Quite frankly, you can say I'm a simp, you're an incel, you're all this shit, you're that, the other, and it won't faze me. I mean, the reason I traveled abroad is a little bit different than most men. Of course, I know that. And just women just happen to be a beneficial side factor to that, experience. But even if you are a man that chooses to travel abroad, honestly, tell me, why does it matter to you so much? Why does it matter what men say about you in reference to your experiences or the fact that you choose to travel abroad? What does their opinion really matter? Tell me, like, what does their opinion really matter? If they want to fight for the women in the country that you've pretty much said, you know what, y'all can have that, why does it matter? If you've already foregone the conclusion that I'm no longer interested in dating Americanized women, I'm no longer interested in dating women in the West, why does it matter what they say? Because when you're abroad, I mean, personally, honestly, if I was abroad right now, no cap, you think that I would be watching YouTube videos about other dudes hating on other dudes about, oh, were they traveling abroad to get pussy? No. You want to know why? Because I'd probably be getting me some while they're making these videos. I would probably honestly be in the midst of getting laid while these guys are sitting there making videos complaining about the girls that we choose to date abroad. So why are you not? You know, if you're abroad, trust me, you're not fazed by what people say. You damn sure shouldn't be fazed about what people do. Because you know what? It's an opinion, ladies and gentlemen. And what do opinions actually mean? They don't mean shit. They don't. They truly don't. But to hear people talk about, now this is where things get interesting for me, and this is probably the only time where I'll have an opinion about it or have a say-so in it or to have anything to say about it, is when you're sitting there trying to convince people that men travel abroad to date ugly women. I don't know if y'all have seen my young lady, but I'm Gucci, man. I'm good. All right. Again, beauty is subjective. I'll say that. What I find to be attractive, you may not find to be attractive, but the overall general consensus, I think she's all right, man. In my book. So why do I give a fuck about what you think? Are you hitting that? No. That's me. That's mine. You know, that's me. If I'm abroad, I'm not even in the same vicinity of you guys, and I'm not even sharing these same women that you guys are with. So why do I care about what you think? And gentlemen who travel, why do you genuinely have to respond to what these people say about who we choose to date abroad? Or who we choose to fuck abroad? Do you want those women in the United States? Do you want them? Honestly, answer the question. If you did, you probably wouldn't be traveling. Again, I encourage traveling for the experience, and women should only be a bonus, but let's be honest, a lot of y'all do travel for the women. So if that is your prerogative and that is what you want to do, is that's what you choose to save up your money for in order to take the trip abroad. If that is your choice, if that is your option, does it really matter what these guys say? The ones who don't travel, the ones who don't worry about getting girls abroad, the ones who are comfortable and complacent with dealing with local punan, the ones that don't mind hooking up with a chick that probably has 5 baby daddies and 4 kids and whatnot, you know? Why does that matter? Why? Give me an honest answer why these people's opinions actually mean something to you. Because they should. Men are entitled to an opinion, ladies and gentlemen. I could come on here and say anything that I want to on my YouTube channel, and whether you like it or not, it'll just be my opinion. You can agree or disagree. That's the point of having a YouTube channel. So they're going to use their YouTube channel to have a voice and actually talk about something that they find to be an opinion based only. And trust me, some of your more popular YouTubers in the black manosphere have actually come out and said some shit like that. And every time I hear it, I laugh. Because people be like, Doc, man, what do you feel about so-and-so talking about us traveling abroad, bro? How do you feel about people saying we only traveling to get girls abroad? We ain't got no game to get women in the United States. How do you feel about that? I don't. And you shouldn't either. I don't feel. I don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't care. Neither should you. That's the point that I'm trying to make. A man's opinion is a man's opinion. I could tell you some of the best punan in the world is abroad. I could tell you right now some of the best punan you'll ever have in your life is in the Philippines. That's an opinion. Some might say Japan, some might say Korea, some might say the United States. It's an opinion. So if this man wants to go out there and say, well, you guys who travel, y'all this, that, and the other, okay. You can have that opinion while I'm over there knee-deep in some shit. You know what I mean? While I'm knee-deep getting me something. I mean, you can have that opinion. Because, again, is it really going to stop you from traveling abroad? Hey, quick question. Is it going to stop you from traveling? Probably not. Just because they say, oh, well, you accept this, you that, and the other, if you can't get girls locally, you gonna stop traveling because they said that shit? No. So if it's not gonna stop you from doing the things that you normally would do, why do you give a fuck? Honestly. Honestly. Because I see the back and forth. I don't really feel like it's something that I need to involve myself into. So you probably won't hear me make any real videos about it after this particular video. But from the God honest truth, from the bottom of my heart and the bottom of my loins, ladies and gentlemen, I don't get shit. And you shouldn't either. Because if it's not going to stop you from getting laid or stop you from accomplishing the goals that you want abroad, an opinion is just an opinion, ladies and gentlemen. And that's how it will remain. And a lot of that time, people say that shit just to get underneath your skin. When you respond, you let them know that they won, number one. Number two, they say that shit because they themselves have probably never traveled before. Or if they did, likely, their experience abroad was not a positive one. That's really the only two conclusions that I'm able to draw from men who say these things about men who travel abroad. A, they either had hella bad experiences dealing with women abroad. Maybe their success rate abroad wasn't as good as it is local. So that's probably influenced their decision. And number two, they just ain't never been. Because I'm telling you, man. Oh, man, you ain't never had it until you had some of the delicacies abroad, man. Everybody want to compare Asian women in Asia to Asian women in the United States. But ladies and gentlemen, bar none, there is no comparison. At all. At all. You know what I'm saying? It's like going to... Oh, how can I say this? It's like calling Panda Express authentic Asian food. No, bitch. Panda Express is the westernized version of what you would call Asian food. So dealing with Asian women in any respect is dealing with the westernized version of that particular ethnic background or that particular race group or whatever you want to call it. There's no comparison. If you haven't had an authentic meal in that country, pun intended, if you haven't had the authentic meal or the real deal, there is no comparison. All right? So before you gentlemen jump the gun and get all in your feelings and shit, because, I mean, I think they say that shit to really get underneath our skin. I want you to note this. They opinion ain't shit. If it's not going to stop you from doing what you do, homie, why do we care? All right? So to all my traveling brethren out there, big love to you, man. I know you're going to continue getting it in. I know pandemic probably slowed you down a little bit, but guess what, ladies and gentlemen? July, June 2021, Doc's prediction, and I'm going to hold to it until they change it. July, June 2021. That's when we're going to be able to travel again, at least in the Philippines, man. You can still go to places in South America and stuff like that now, which I've thought long and hard about. Just to get out the country for a minute, but nah, I got other shit I'm trying to do. All right, man, this has been fun, man. Again, if you let the opinions get to you, they won. It's the best thing I could tell you. All right, man, has been fun, it has been real. This has been a good doc. With that being said, good doc is officially out. At least nako paalam, which means I'm going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Makita mabuhay. Peace.